We like a bit of Yorkshire pudding with a roast, and I thought I'd found an excellent recipe. And then my daughter had to go on a dairy-free diet. So we tried a few times substituting water or almond milk and various things to try and get the same kind of rice that we'd normally get, but it didn't work until I figured out, looking at the calcium tablet that I would take every day, that maybe that would work. So I gave it a try. I was really chuffed with the results. I think you will be too. The results were too good not to share with everybody, especially if you've been suffering from a lack of Yorkshire pudding in your life. I do wonder what else this trick might work with. Have you got something else in your life that's been missing the dairy ingredient? And I wouldn't have thought it would make such a big difference in a recipe, but it really did. So once I've cooked the roast, then I take it out and pour off the drippings. And this time is a nice crunchy roast pork, crunchy rind roast pork. And yeah, pour off the drippings, and that way I can then pour just the fat back into the tray. And there is a bit of drippings left behind in the tray, and that just adds flavour to the bottom of the Yorkshire pudding. And I found that these glass Pyrex dishes actually work really well for Yorkshire pudding. I've used like metal trays in the past, and they just don't give the same kind of result. So I'm really happy using the glass Pyrex dishes. So I just pour in an amount, maybe say half a cup, of the fat back into the tray, into the baking dish, and after that just pour the batter in. And this batter is a little bit on the runny side. I probably didn't put quite enough flour or a little bit too much water, one or the other. Normally I just use powdered milk in the house, so normally I would just mix it up with water and then throw the powder in anyway and mix it all up that way. So it's just not using the powdered milk and adding in the calcium tablet instead. I try to work fast and pour the batter into the hot baking dish with hot fat, so that when it goes into a very hot oven it puffs up very quickly. But you need to be careful not to open the oven door too fast, or else it might deflate on you. That's happened a few times, so I like to leave it in there for a bit longer so it goes a bit crispy around the edges. That's the way I like it. And here's the result. And I was really pleased when I finally figured this out. And here comes the recipe. My daughter's like, well, don't worry, you don't have to make it for me. I just won't have any. But I was like, no, I'm going to keep trying. You never know. Might figure it out one day. And luckily I did. And it's delicious. I hope you give it a try if you can't have dairy and you want a good Yorkshire pudding.